Alright, so this is kind of the setup we have now. So there's planets rotating around a sun. So what we want to do is if we click far enough away, so it's out of the range of all these planets, we want to send a comet or an asteroid or something inwards. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check. So we're going to draw kind of an imaginary line. So there's the y distance. Remember when we were spacing out the planets in a line, we said they can only go this far. So we're going to draw a circle around that. So all the planets will be in that circle. So we want to know if when we're clicking, is our click outside of that circle. So if we click here, it'll spawn the object. If we spawn here, it won't. Because obviously it'd be too easy if Earth is here and you just click right there. You could avoid half the planets. Okay, so let's start that. So the first thing we're going to need is a projectile. Yeah, so let's actually make a list of projectiles so that you can shoot more than one at one time. Okay, so we'll do call this projectile. Okay. So it is going to have I think the speed is going to be fixed. So it's just going to have a game object. Alright, and the target is always going to be the center. So this is really just a list of game objects here. We might add values to them later though. So let's add that list here as well. Okay. So in our spawn object, we're going to want to first check and see if where we clicked is good. Okay, so first it's going to say, did we click down? So if yes, now we're going to say, okay, is the distance between the center and where we clicked, is that the distance of our max, what did we call it here? Our planet max spacing. So we want to make sure it's far enough away that we're not going to hit any planets yet. So if vector 3 distance, so this will get the distance between two vectors. So we want to do where we clicked and 0. So let's just do 0. And we're going to do where we clicked. So that is down here. So we are actually going to copy that and run it after the ray. Okay, so now we have access to that information. So we can say it.point. Let's actually make this a vector. Wait, no, that works. Yeah, so that'll give a vector 3. Okay, so as long as that is less than our max planet, less than max planet spacing, then we're going to do a thing. I think I got too many brackets here. Vector 3 dot distance. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So if it is, for now let's just spawn an object so we can see it. So we're going to do, but we do want to add that as a projectile, so like that. So its object is going to equal so we're going to bring in a kind of odd. Let's just use one we have already. Let's use a planet prefab. We're going to bring it in at that hit point, because remember it's only going to run this if that hit point is far enough out. And no rotation. Okay. So it's gonna, if we click down, it's gonna shoot out a ray. It's gonna hit the wall. It's gonna log a point. So the distance between 0 and that point is, oh, we want to do greater than the planet spacing. So it's got to be further out. Then we're going to create a new projectile. We're going to spawn it and just add it to the list. Okay, and that should work. So let's just, oh, it's already in the update function. Perfect. Just go into Unity and try that. Oh, there we go. Okay. So if we click in here, it shouldn't be adding anything. See here, global projectiles, yeah, so we shouldn't be adding any in here. But if we go out really far, it will start adding them. It's kind of hard to see. You can see it just adding them there, yeah. Right up to about there. So that's our imaginary line. Oh, planet just went by, so you can see it's always going to spawn outside. So the next step will just be to bring those in once we click them.